So the internet is now hating on Jaclyn Hill. This is not a drama video. I'm not gonna add more to the backlash. I just want to analyze what went wrong because I think this is a perfect example for a personal brand that didn't adapt, and this is why we're seeing the backlash that we're seeing right now. So in this video, we're gonna break down the mistakes and basically learn what to not do on our personal brand. But before we start, I know I said this is not a drama channel, but still we're gonna have to cover the drama. So let's watch the video that started everything.
I want to talk about something that I feel like maybe is a little controversial, maybe not, but I feel like no one really talks about it on social media. At least I don't see this conversation being had. But I think about this every day, and this is coming from like an old school beauty content creator. I started on YouTube 14 years ago. Watched the birth of TikTok, you know, like I remember when Instagram became a thing. I was already on YouTube when Instagram became a thing. I downloaded Instagram and like it was like this new app and we were posting the square photos. Like I've been here for all of it. And I feel like we're in such a weird place. I am like fighting. I feel like I am like trying to run through mud to connect with my followers at this point. And I feel like I get punished and penalized for not showing up and creating all the time. I took off, like I didn't post a TikTok, I think for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe. Like, sorry, shit, life happens. I've been doing this for 14 years. Maybe I'm a little burnt out, God forbid. But then I come back to TikTok and it's like I'm put in like this TikTok jail. When you have 1 million followers, but your videos are only getting 30,000 views, this is just not the way it used to be. Like when I started, it was so organic. Like you subscribed to the people that you liked, you opened up those apps, or you got a notification on your phone saying so-and-so just posted a video, you go, you engage with it, and like it was that simple. Now it's like I put videos out there and sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, where is my audience?
Okay, it's too long. She's not wrong about the algorithm. It's true that it's not what it used to be. So why is everyone so triggered? Let's watch another video that I think summarizes the response that she got from the internet after this video.
I feel like I am like trying to run through mud to connect with my followers.
Hi, Jaclyn. Well, why don't we take a look at your videos to see why people might not be connecting with your content? To kick things off, why don't we see what you posted around Thanksgiving?
Coming out after Thanksgiving. So bitch, did you get a bartender? Okay, so a ton of my guests love Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio, so I stocked the cellar.
I mean, who among us doesn't have a personalized wine collection to serve at their 20-person dinner table? Now, to be fair, Jaclyn does engage with her audience when she needs life advice.
Hi, okay, I need your help. I did some online shopping and I bought 2 designer bags. They are both leopard print, and I could not decide by looking at them on the internet which one I wanted, so I bought both.
Oh my god, you guys, I couldn't decide which $2,000 bag to buy, so I got both. She recorded her video while wearing a $135 sweatshirt from a brand that is owned by another rich influencer. Jaclyn, you're rich and you won, but I'm sorry if people don't want to be drowned in overconsumption by influencers when they can't afford gross.
This is so classic. We've seen it so many times with influencers that started just like us, like normal people, just sharing content, could afford the same brands that we can afford, having like similar lifestyle, and then they build an audience, but because of the audience that they just built, they're not like us anymore. Now they're millionaires. Now their life dilemmas is like, which leopard bag should I have? I bought both just in case. So we saw someone that's just like us, and this is what made us interested in them. This is how they grew, and now they are irrelevant. I don't really think it's about the money and about what she can afford or cannot afford. We will talk about it later in the video, but it's just the fact that she became irrelevant. Now, in order to be relevant for your audience, you have to think of what role you provide in their lives, basically, at least in their internet space. And I think this is something that many times people that grew organically just aren't aware of the different role they now have. Now, in general, there are many roles that you can fulfill, but we can divide it to 2. So you can either be this relatable persona or you are the authority. These are the 2, like in general, there are many roles, but these are the 2 that make sure you're still relevant. So it's either the audience feels seen, feel less alone, or they feel inspired. They feel like they're learning something new. They feel guided. Now, Jaclyn, I don't follow beauty influencers, but from just analyzing this internet drama, what I see is that she started as someone who was relatable. And then, the same story, she's not relatable anymore, but she just didn't change the role. Let's watch some more videos that commented about her
Jaclyn Hill, the
video.
reason why you're getting no engagement is because nobody can relate to you anymore. The Jaclyn Hill that we saw way back in 2014 is no longer the Jaclyn Hill that we see today, and we will never see her
Let's
again.
watch another one.
Hey, Jaclyn, we can't afford groceries right now. We're barely getting by. All of us. We don't want to see which $4,000 purse you just bought. We don't want to see that. I'm sorry. It's not relatable.
You see, the audience is saying, this is not relatable. We can't relate with you anymore. Now, I also want to see the comments on her video and see how she handled them. Okay, so they're saying, I don't know, they're referring to another influencer and say that she has to adjust because now they want content like whatever this influencer because it feels real and relatable. When over half the country is struggling to afford rent, Okay, someone really took the time to explain. So as a follower, I see all your stuff. I just don't connect with everything you're putting out there. So sometimes I don't engage. Sometimes I feel like your content is meant for higher class people than me. Or sometimes I feel like your content is above my range in general. I don't interact with those videos, not saying you're doing anything wrong. I just don't live that life. Jaclyn is responding. Yeah, I totally respect and understand that. But I'm talking about the actual views. I'm talking about, oh my God, she's handling it so wrong. I'm talking about these apps not showing my content to people who follow me. Okay. This video is not meant for Jaclyn Hill because I want to give actual advice for people who care, and she doesn't seem to care so much because your era is over and that's okay. But I want to see where she's replying. Carol, you're missing the point in the comments. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I can't find more comments from her. But anyways, she doesn't care. Like someone is actually explaining why they don't feel that her content speaks to them anymore. And she's like, yeah, but I'm talking about the views. Okay. But anyways, let's get back to what we can learn when we care. So what we see also in the comments, in the way she handled it, is that she's just not shifting towards a new role. Ellen DeGeneres has like an entire Netflix special on that topic. When you're big, for so many people, you're unrelatable and you can't fulfill this role of just being this, internet friend.
A friend of mine was at my house and I told him I'm going to do stand-up again. And he said, really? And I said, yeah, I was hoping for more of a really? And he said, well, do you think you're still relatable?
Everyone is talking about the money and about the economy and why it's not relatable when it comes to money. But here's the thing. The problem is not that she now makes money. We love seeing people making money. We're a culture that completely admires billionaires. We never felt like Beyonce is irrelevant because she has money. But these people are relevant because they fulfill another role. They never try to be relatable. Nothing is stopping us from completely admiring billionaires and all the rich influencers on TikTok. We get other things from them. Either it's inspiration or advice, but they're not trying to be relatable. And this is why they are still relevant. So yeah, that TikToker that said, the Jaclyn that we knew, we're never going to see her again. That's true. So when you run a personal brand, you always have to see how you're going to adapt and remain relevant, not by creating trendy content. I feel like many influencers are sometimes missing the point. They think trends are keeping them relevant or some brand deals or some juice about their lives. But no, okay, it can make you relevant for a second. But the key to really keeping relevancy in your audience life is fulfilling a role. It requires seeing your audience and feeling your audience and what they need. You need to ask yourself, what is the role that I'm fulfilling for my audience? Not what they give me and not what can give me more views today. But when you want to build a brand long term, you always have to ask this question. You always have to read the room. This is not just a one-time strategy. She has a niche. She's creating great content. This is not enough in order to be relevant. So this is, I think, the mistake she's doing, like the main one. And why did it trigger everyone? This is like another result of trying to be relatable when you aren't. When you're not fulfilling the role of being relatable, you can't also be complaining. Talking about the algorithm and not getting reach is something that when small creators do, we love to support them. We see it all the time on trial reels when people are saying, I've been stuck on 2,000 followers for like years, whatever. And, we want to feel like good people. And we can feel also the struggle. So we support that creator. But when someone who's a millionaire and has millions of followers is now complaining, we can't stand it. This is why we can't stand when a princess is complaining about her tough life, right? So because she's not changing her role, I don't think she's even understanding this concept, honestly. But she's not changing her role. She's not adapting. And by the way, people on the comments said you need to adapt by being more relatable. She's not going to be relatable. That's it. These days are gone. She just needs to give us different, like not us, but her audience. She needs to give them different value. And it cannot be being relatable anymore. So anyways, because she's not adjusting her role, she just is making more and more mistakes. Like the mistake of complaining and playing the victim when we cannot relate with that. We just don't care about it and it's annoying. So yeah, when personal brands don't understand this concept of roles, they're gonna make more mistakes. They're only gonna make more and more mistakes. So yeah, I don't think people hate Jaclyn Hill. I think she can still adjust, but she needs to care in order to do that. And I don't know her, I'm not following her, but my impression was that she doesn't really care. All the rise and fall that we see all the time. It seems like we like to see someone successful failing. I don't think it's true. I think it only happens when they don't read the room anymore. So yeah. I hope you like this video. If you like this perspective, I would really appreciate that you like it and that you will subscribe to my channel. See you next week.